world also. Please now join me in welcoming Governor Tim Pawlenty. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Or as President Obama would say, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out in the middle of the weekday to be part of this discussion. I'm really honored and grateful that you're here. I'm running for President of the United States because I love this country. And I've got the skills and the ability and the experience and the record of results and the values and beliefs to lead it to a better place. And as we do that, we've got to join together as a team to get this country moving in the right direction. I often say that pathway forward may not be easy, but it's not complex. And just to give you one measure of that, I want to invite up a new friend that I met this morning at another meeting. Malin, come on up here. I want to have you meet. He's not just a Minnesota Viking and Adrian Peterson fan. Malin and I were together earlier today at a meeting. Now, he's 10 years old. And he had a great question for me about taxation. I gave him my answer, and then he gave an answer that I thought was brilliant. So I wanted to share that with him, to have him share that with you. And now tell the group what you told me about what happens if we lower people's taxes or keep them low.
Well, if we lower people's taxes, people have more money to spend, and that means we have to have more people to make those things that they buy, so the businesses need to hire more people, and those people get jobs. So if we lower the taxes, more people are starting more little businesses, small businesses. So more businesses means more people can buy things and more people get jobs.
I think we have a future candidate here. Marilyn, thank you very, very much, and thank you for coming and sharing that message. And I just want to share with you, if a 10-year-old in Iowa knows that answer and knows that common sense, is it too much to ask to think that Barack Obama should know better than to try to raise taxes and further suffocate our economy? Thank you, man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you being here. That's awesome, is right. Well, and he's also an Adrian Peterson fan, which is another positive. But I want to just share with you a few other thoughts. We've got a country that's facing great challenges. We've got nearly $4 a gallon gas. We've got crushing levels of unemployment. We've got a federal government that's out of control. The hallmark of this administration is passing an unconstitutional health care bill that should be repealed in its entirety. And we have a president who was a community organizer, was in the Senate long enough to have a cup of coffee, never ran anything, never accomplished anything, and we put him in the Oval Office and wonder why it didn't work out. We have a country that calls for serious leadership. We need to call forward the real challenges of our time, put real solutions on the table, and make sure that we have leaders who understand what made this country great and lead us in the direction to make it great again and continue to make it great. So I want to share with you a few thoughts. First, just a personal reflection. I hope you have a chance in the coming weeks and months to meet my wife, Mary. We're very excited about this race and the challenges that the country faces and what we can bring to the race. We've been married 23 years. Now we have 2 teenage daughters, and one of them drives, and they both like boys. So Mary can't come on all these trips because those girls need supervision. But she'll be around in the coming weeks, and I hope you have a chance to meet her. I think you'll enjoy and see that she believes what we believe, and she's a big part of this effort. I want to acknowledge and thank her as well for her support of this effort. But I launched my campaign in Des Moines a few weeks ago, and we have this message in mind. It's time to tell the American people the truth. We're going to tell the truth about the real challenges facing the nation. We're going to put real solutions on the table, and then we're going to get about the business of fixing the problems. and that's going to take leadership. So we came to Iowa and said there can be no more sacred cows. We're going to tell the truth, even in Iowa, about in our budget challenges, we're going to have to phase out ethanol subsidies. And not just pick on ethanol, we're going to have to look at all the subsidies and phase out or eliminate all of the subsidies in all of the areas because we're going broke and we can't afford them anymore. And then we went to... And I went to Florida and talked to seniors and others about what it's really going to take to fix Social Security and get that back on track. And then I went to Washington, D.C. and told the federal employees and their unions, you can't get better pay and benefits than the people who are paying the bill, the taxpayers.
Thank you.
So your levels are going to be frozen until that gets squared up and balanced.
Yeah.
And then we went to Wall Street, and I told the Wall Street bankers, you got to get your snout out of the trough because you got it in there as deep and as bad as anybody else. And when I'm President of the United States, there'll be no more bailouts, no more handouts, no more special deals. That day is over. Then I'm down the list, but the main point I want to leave with you today before we get into discussion and questions is this. Look, let me be very candid and blunt with you. Most of the Republican candidates coming through town are going to tell you many of the same things. So if another candidate were standing right here today, they'd say, look, on the Republican side, I'm for reducing spending, I'm for reducing taxes, I'm for real health care reform, not government health care reform, I'm for school choice and accountability, I'm for making sure that we're tough on terrorism, I'm for pro-growth economic policies, and on down the list. And so you might ask, well, what's the difference between all these candidates?